Hi everyone and welcome back. In this class, we will talk about functions and modules in Python. These two concepts will help us in organizing our codes to become more readable and well organized. When you start creating complex codes for advanced problems, the size of your codes becomes an issue. Ensuring that your codes are readable and efficiently written is a must-do task. Through functions and modules, we will solve this problem and pave the way for more advanced code structures. Let's start with functions. Functions are blocks of codes that you create to do a specific task within your code. We create functions for lines of codes that we expect to repeat a lot. By doing so, we avoid cluttering our code and make it much easier to read and understand. Another key benefit of functions is that they break our code into small pieces where each piece has its own functionality. And this is great for debugging the code, to find problems, and even to enhance and upgrade it. To create a function, use the word def, then the function name followed by parentheses and a colon, as you can see. Indented under it, you can write the code that you want your function to execute. This function has only one job, which is to print the sentence, "My first function does not do much." Now, this function will not run in our code unless it is called. You can call a function with its name as it's shown. Functions can have parameters as well. Parameters are the way to pass information to functions to be used within them. You can add as many parameters as you need inside the parentheses after the function's name where it's defined. When we want to pass a value to the function, you pass it when you call the function, and this is called an argument. In the above definition, my function has a parameter called name. When we call the function, we can pass an argument to it, and in this case, it's bara. You must pass the exact number of arguments that the function can take. Any more or less can result in an error. We will learn more about parameters and arguments in advanced classes. When defining a parameter for a function, you can include a default value for it. So, if we call that function without passing a value for that parameter, the function will use the default value. Now, let's practice what we have learned so far with a small exercise. Create a function that takes the first name, last name, and the year of birth, then calculates the age and prints the information. Include default values for all the parameters. You can pause the video and try to do it yourself. So far, we have covered functions that perform a specific task but do not provide us back with values. In other words, functions that do not return anything. To make a function return a value, we use the word return within the function body, followed by anything that we want the function to return. We can assign the value that the function returns to a variable as well, as you can see in this example. A quick thing to mention is that function definitions should not be empty. If for any purpose you want to leave a function definition empty, you can use the word pass as it shows in this example. Let's practice all those concepts with an exercise. Define a function that takes the mark of a student and the course name and prints their grade. You can pause the video and try to do it yourself. Test your function with several function calls. We will now move on to modules. You can think of modules as collections of codes, where you can define functions, variables, and even write statements to be used with other scripts and applications when they are imported. A module is just like any other Python file. It has a name and a .py extension. Each module has its own scope for naming, so you can have identically named functions in different modules. We import modules into our code by using the word import followed by the name of the module. You can rename the module locally like this. Import module name as M1. You also can import specific functions from the module rather than importing all of it to your code like this. From module name, import function 1. We now have what we need to create well-structured codes. I will see you in the next class to create our own modules and look at what built-in modules Python has.